All right, our jurors and alternates have returned to the courtroom, and Mr. Durst is present with his lawyers, People's Counsel, all are present. We're going to return to the video of Dr. Kuperman. I think, you did give, Robin, did you give them the transcripts back to follow along with, or do they not need them? Never collected them. I see. They're in the seats all along. All right. So, Mr. Milius, you may resume.
This way, if Dr. Cook were to say that he quoted from this document that I'm about to quote from, I want to ask him about that. What's on the screen now is base number 074618, the first page of our Exhibit P. And I'd like to read along with you, if you will, read it. The question was, when did you last speak to Kathie and about what? The answer that Dr. Cook gave, which you were asked about on direct examination, is, quote, my last conversation with Kathie must have been when I interviewed her in the fall, winter of 1981, for about an hour, in preparation to write her dean's letter of recommendation to hospitals for postgraduate training. If you read that dean's letter, there must be a copy in her student file in you should get a feel for how I evaluated her as a person and as a future physician. Here's the part. Mrs. Durst's principal contact in the administration was not me, but Dr. Albert Kuperman. She always interacted with me through him as an intermediary. And it goes on to say on the next page, well, that's what it goes on to say. So, the question is, as you were asked on direct examination, what about that statement? Mrs. Durst's principal contact in the administration was not me, but Albert Kuperman. What do you say about that?
I can't imagine where he's getting that from. This is certainly not true.
Did you ever ask him about that?
No.
Did the prosecution ever show you that statement?
Excuse me?
Did the prosecution team ever show you that statement?
No.
And he says also she always interacted with me through him as intermediary.
It's incorrect.
Where'd that come from?
I don't know.
Just a minute.
Puzzle.
Okay. All right. Get close. On that same subject, I want to show you our Exhibit F. This is a handwritten note from Dr. Cook to Kathleen Durst. It's page number
131-461. It's a one-page letter to Ms. Durst.
And it's dated 9 March 1981. It says, I understand from my office that things aren't going too smoothly for you right now. Would you like to talk to me? Do you think I can help? Sincerely signed by Cook. Were you shown that when
No.
the prosecutors questioned you? Now, another document dated 10 March 81. Our Exhibit E. Page number. This is the next day.
It's a one-page memorandum from Dr. Cook to the registrar.
Yes, sir, from the records of Einstein. It's a note from Dr. Cook to the registrar saying that Ms. Durst has withdrawn from the surgery clerkship for personal reasons. It's 10 March 1981, the day after Dr. Cook sent her the note, would you like to talk to me? What significance does that have to you, Doctor?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Sure. This is sent to the registrar, basically dropping Kathleen Durst's surgery clerkship for personal reasons. The day after, Dr. Cook asked Kathie by note if she'd like to talk to her.
Right.
What's the significance to you of that sequence of events? Isn't it? What this says is Dr. Cook recognized she was having problems. He wrote her a personal note, probably met with her, and the next day told the registrar that she would be dropping the surgery clerkship. Right?
I guess that's right.
I'm drawing on you. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm drawing on your experiences of 40 years or 4 years. 40 years, I think it's to help us with it.
There's obviously difficulty in this clerkship.
So that goes really to the issue of she was doing fine.
Right.
Who is Dr. David Kaufman, K-A-U-F-M-A-N?
He's a neurologist in charge of the neurology clerkship.
Are you aware of the statement that Dr. Kaufman made during the investigation about Kathie's absence?
No.
Okay. One last look at the records. We'll go to our Exhibit H, which is hotel, which is a part of people's exhibit number 1.
For the record, the date.
13141.
131431. Single page.
On the screen now, it's a report from Dr. Hubbard, it looks like, of neurology clerkship that was in July of 81. Let's go to the remarks on the bottom. Kathleen unfortunately had an illness in her family and was unable to complete the clerkship. You were aware of that, generally?
I normally don't keep track of every student's performance during every clerkship. I'm not aware of it.
It is rather...
But I know she was having trouble in this particular clerkship without reading this particular statement, because I was informed about it.
So in the second half of 1981, Kathie had to withdraw, or did withdraw, put it that way, from 2 clerkships at least, surgery and neurology. correct?
Can counsel reference dates?
Yes. We just looked at, as you remarked on, the March of 1981 withdrawal.
Exhibit E.
She withdrew from 2 clerkships late in her career.
Late in her career?
Late in her career.
Towards the end of the 3rd year.
Yes.
She withdrew from the neurology clerkship for sure.
And the
Surgery, I guess you did not complete the surgery.
Well, let's put it on to the, just to remind you of what we just looked at. Exhibit E is on the screen.
Well, if he said she withdrew, that's for sure.
Okay.
However, if you read the, excuse me,
I know you're asking us.
I can make it my statement.
Yes.
I'm reading the 2nd paragraph there. Apparently, from what I can see, all she had to do was take the surgery examination, and she would have satisfied the requirements.
When she has satisfactory past clerkship. She had none. She withdrew, right?
Do you understand the question? As to what she had to complete to get her credit?
I'm just not sure that she I'd have to know the date of when the clerkship ended. She withdrew on March 10th. When did the surgery clerkship end?
I'm not here to answer. All I'm saying is the record shows she withdrew from the surgery clerkship effective today.
Right.
Don't argue that, do you?
The only thing I know about this is what I'm reading now.
Okay.
So I have no personal evidence other than what I'm seeing that she actually did not pass the surgery clerkship. Withdrew is one thing, passing the clerkship is another. So my question is, does she pass? Once she completes that examination, which is a requirement, she might have passed.
I'm not asking you to speculate. I'm just asking you what the records show.
But
The record shows she withdrew, correct?
that's what the record says.
She also withdrew from the surgery, from the radiology clerkship.
Right.
She also withdrew from the neurology clerkship. So the surgery, radiology, neurology, 3 withdrawals in the same year. Isn't that a little unusual?
Which is why Dr. Cook was concerned about it.
When the prosecution was interviewing you back in 2015, and when they interviewed you yesterday, I suppose, in preparation for your testimony, did they show you any of these?
Show me what?
Show you any of these exhibits that I just showed you about how she...
I don't recall seeing this. I don't recall seeing that.
That's all the question.
Bailey, you may redirect.
Thank you. While we're on the issue,
Let me get out of this way first.
yeah, you do. Mr. DeGuerin has shown you bits and pieces of the registrar file. When we met with you, did we let you make available to you the entire registrar file for you to review? Need you to look through. People's one. Did we let you look through it yesterday?
Yes.
And look at what you deem would be important and what you deem would not be important? Okay. So Mr. DeGuerin is talking to you about how Kathleen Durst, I apologize, I assume, may I approach him well to use the Thank you, Your Honor. About how Kathleen didn't pass the neurology. Right? Okay. Wait, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Sorry, I don't have papers, so I was looking at the wrong one. Okay. So, he questioned you about her withdrawing from surgery, correct?
Right.
I would like you to look at People's 1, page 131433. Start at the top. Is this an evaluation of Kathleen Durst in 1982? I'm sorry, on March 22nd, 1981, completing her surgery clerkship.
Right.
So they're going to show you this, but I'd like you to look at it. Did she pass?
She passed.
Notwithstanding the fact that she earlier withdrew for, I guess, personal reasons, did she fully satisfy the requirements for the third-year surgical clerkship?
According to this, she certainly did.
Did she demonstrate good knowledge in a written examination?
She did.
Was the department satisfied that she's completed the requirements for the clerkship?
That's what it said. She did.
Okay. Mr. DeGuerin made some waves with the fact that Ms. Durst had issues with her radiology clerkship.
Right.
Showing you page 131428 from People's 1. Did she pass that clerkship?
She passed it very well, yes.
She got very good remarks, did she not?
Right.
Mr. DeGuerin showed you from 1982, and I'm looking at page 131429, a record of Ms. Durst's general medicine. And he pointed out one line that said her attendance in rounds and conferences should have been better. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Yet, notwithstanding that, did her evaluator not believe that in the direct management of her patients, she was thorough, she worked long and uncomplaining hours?
Correct.
How difficult was this clerkship? Describe for the jury, for the judge, describe what a medical student has to go through to complete this rotation.
Well, I think I informed the court already. This is an 8-month rotation in which the student is a full-time inhabitant of the inpatient ward of a hospital and is behaving very much like a first-year intern, but under the supervision of an intern.
How difficult is it?
Very difficult, very demanding, very time-consuming.
What's your family life like during that period?
There's no family life.
If you're married, what's life like at home?
They're not home all that much.
If you have young children, what's it like for your children during this period of time?
They don't see her very much. Yeah.
Okay. Yet, notwithstanding that, did she ever seem to complain about the hours she had to put in?
Apparently not.
Did she put in enough hours to pass the clerkship?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Radiology. the last clerkship before she vanished, disappeared from your school, she completed that.
Yes.
Sorry, wrong. Actually, we looked at it earlier. She completed it, right?
Yes.
She did well in it, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Durst, according to what Mr. DeGuerin kept pointing out repeatedly, had to withdraw for personal reasons from that location, correct? Do you have any idea what those personal reasons were?
No.
Do you know whether she was having problems at home?
No.
I guess the bottom line is, you don't know anything about what's going on in her personal life, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I have a document. I'd like to mark this as People 2.
People 2.
This is a letter on Albert Einstein College of Medicine letterhead written by John Cook, page 131373.
Date of the letter, please.
There's not a clear date on the letter. John refers to it as the match letter.
Make a seat.
Can you see that? Take a chance and read it, please.
Really, I still don't see the date.
There's no date. In macro? I'd like to actually have the letter. I think it'd be easier for me. There's 3 pages.
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Please take a look at that and let me know when you're done reviewing it.
Okay.
Did you have a chance to review it?
Sure.
Do you recognize that letter? Like what type of letter that is?
That's the letter that's written to residency program directors to which the student is applying.
And this is part of the match we discussed earlier.
Match, yeah.
Who wrote that particular letter?
Dr. Cook,
And who is it written about?
Kathie Durst.
Did Dr. Cook recommend her for a program?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Did he recommend her for a
Very strongly.
So my question is, would you expect, based on your 4 years experience as the Dean of Education, for Dr. Cook to recommend Ms. Durst for a match if he didn't feel she was qualified to meet the rigors of the residency requirements?
He would not have written such a letter.
So, notwithstanding the questions Mr. DeGuerin and crew have asked, I would just like to ask you, in your opinion, notwithstanding whatever absences she was having, notwithstanding whatever personal problems she may have been having in her life that were personal to her, how was Kathie doing as she approached her graduation to become a doctor?
It appears to me, based on the record and certainly this letter, that she was well on her way to completing all of her medical school requirements and obtaining a residency program.
Okay. Mr. DeGuerin showed you Exhibit BD, and he showed you page 7, which is page 147,913, and he showed you part of the statement. I'd like to look at the complete statement and ask you a couple questions. Question. But you had enough time.
So page 1.
Page 7. So you had enough you were familiar enough with her voice that you thought you didn't even hesitate. Answer. It was a woman. When you were asked that question, when you were familiar enough with her voice that you did not even hesitate, what was your first instinctive reaction?
What I said,
Which is what?
it was a woman.
It was a woman. So you thought it was Kathie. Your first instinct was that because it was a woman representing herself to be Kathie. Is that true?
I guess so, yeah.
If we go further, you were asked, question, had you had enough contact with her prior to that to recognize her voice? Now, I'm not going to skip past your first part of your answer and get to the end of it. I want to ask you your first reaction, your first response to that question. What was it?
What it says, well, I don't know.
You said, I don't know, phones are different. Were you sure, even when you talked to the producer?
I asked for optional completeness of the entire statement.
Mr. DeGuerin's on
It sounded like her. What this entire statement was.
He's already
I don't know, phones are different, but it sounded like her.
When you spoke with Mark and Andrew, Andrew Direckie, in 2012,
Where while the court report is looking, it's MARC, SNERLING, ANDREW, JERACKI.
JARECKI.
Sorry. I needed to hear it in a sentence to spell it out. Could we leave the spelling to Mr. Bailey, please?
Yeah. No, you can go on. By the way, the match letter that we looked at people's too, when would that, based on your training, your background, and your experience as a dean, when would that have been written? Approximately by
This letter?
yes, people's too.
Usually these letters are written around November
That would have been November of the year.
of 1981, I guess. 1981.
Okay.
That doesn't mean this particular letter was written that day, but that's where they start.
I'm referring you now to defense CC, transcript of the interview conducted at your home by myself, Mr. Miller, Detective George Hanley, on January 28th, 2015. Mr. DeGuerin asked you some questions about something you said on page 6, page 138679. And he asked you about part of the top of the page. Question, did this all start because of this is Dr. Sugar. Did this all start because of the HBO documentary that's going to be broadcast starting in February? Answer, no, it's, and he made it seem like we never answered that question. You recall that testimony?
Yes.
All right, I'd like to just fast forward just a few lines down to the bottom of the page and get to the complete statement. Did Mr. Lewin tell you it's natural? We are unfortunately just not in a position to be able to answer that one. Did Mr. Lewin tell you?
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
Mr. Lewin tell you, I wish I could tell you more, but I really can't.
Right.
We did in fact answer that question, correct?
Correct.
I'm almost on your own for time that I will finish today. Regarding the match, just want to go back to the match a little bit. I'm sorry, not about the match. Do you sit here today that you remember certain things better than you remember others? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Earlier, if you recall, you testified that you thought Kathie was interested in pursuing a residency in pediatrics. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Do you have a stronger memory about when that call came in? then about what program Kathleen Durst was attempting to match into in terms of being PDS.
Remember one better than the other?
You'll have to repeat that again.
Give us a stronger memory about when the call came in, then about what program Kathleen Durst was attempting to match into.
Yes,
Give a stronger memory about what?
when the call came in.
Okay. I'm showing you from People's One, page 131449.
This exhibit is.
People's One. It's out of People's One. Do you recognize this?
Yes,
What is this?
it's the match sheet.
Does this reflect Kathleen Durst?
Rank order, the rank order.
Of Kathleen Durst?
Yes.
What, after reviewing this, can you tell us what was her requested match?
Medicine.
Question 08.
It's the page. There's no date on it, but can you tell based on your training and experience when this match request would have been made? What was Kathleen Durst's priority of request for a match?
She would probably have done this around November.
What did she want to match with? What program?
Medicine.
So earlier when you testified pediatrics, were you incorrect about that?
You're right.
Okay. All of the matches she requested, 1 through 8, do you see any singular thread of uniformity as to where she wanted to be?
They're all New York City.
Okay. And these are things she requested?
Correct.
Okay. I'm near the end, I just wanted to come in. Is that okay, Ron? Because she had some delinquent library books, would that have disqualified her from graduating medical school?
No.
Mr. DeGuerin has suggested that either Mr. Lewin, myself, Detective Shamlian, or any other member of the Los Angeles Police Department or Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office has pressured you to say a certain thing. Have we done anything to pressure you to testify a certain way? Have we done anything that you feel pressured you unduly to testify a certain way?
No.
Have we done anything, in your opinion, to improperly influence you to testify a certain way?
No.
Do you recall anything that I may have told you more than once? The most important thing I wanted when you came in here today.
No.
When you changed or said something different that it was no longer your belief, that it was absolutely Kathie on the phone, was after or during your conversation with Dick DeGuerin, and myself, is that right?
Right.
Okay. Did we ask you, had you ever spoken with her on the phone before?
Did we ask you what?
Had you ever spoken with her on the phone before? Had you ever spoken with Kathie on the phone previously?
I believe you did.
Did we ask you how many times total did you speak with her over the 4-year period?
I believe you did.
Had anyone ever asked you those questions before?
No.
Based on the questions that were posed to you, did you think about it more deeply than you thought about it before?
Yes.
And after thinking about it more critically than you ever really thought about it before, did you come to the realization that you testified here to today? You can answer. Thank you. I have nothing further to say.
She said you need to read this for you to read wrong.
We don't have any.
Does may the witness now be excused?
Fine, thus, Your Honor.
Okay, so you've been excused. Is there any reason you should not be excused?
Absolutely not. It's been a long day for Dr.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the testimony of Dr. Kuperman. We're going to Oh, let's do that for the record.
Yes. So the exhibit sheet, which correlates the exhibits from the video to the prior initial examination testimony, when I mark this as people's, let's see, this was 49. So this would be 49C. I'm sorry? B. Wasn't the transcript B? Oh, no.
Okay, 49B.
Why I should not be in charge of these things.
Just a second.
I think we're at 52.
No, no.
We're going back to Dr. Kuperman's.
So 49A was the video. I'm sorry, 49 was the video.
Yeah.
49A was the transcript.
Right.
Now 49B is the sheet.
Let me see. Are you ready, Erica?
Stop that. 48 like Nancy, 49 and 49A.
So this is 49B.
Right? Okay, so 49B is this document.
Okay. Which is the,
The exhibit list,
Rec-
which correlates the exhibits.
okay, reconciliation or correlation.
Yes. So, what was referenced in the video as People's 1 in this trial has been referenced as People's 25A. What is referenced in the video as People's 2, may I mark it as People's 49C. What is referenced in the video as Defense B, may I mark that as People's 49D.
All right.
What is referenced in the video as Defense E, may I mark this as People's 49E.
Yes.
What is referenced in the video as Defense F, may I mark this as People's 49F.
Okay. Yes.
What is referenced in the video as Defense H, may I mark this as People's 49G. What is referenced in the video as Defense I, may I mark this as People's 49K. Oh no, EFGH, I'm sorry.
Yes. Yes.
I'm struggling with the alphabet, but I'm getting through it. What is marked in the video as Defense J, may I mark that as People's 49I. What is marked in the video as Defense K, may I mark that as People's 49J.
Right.
What is marked in the video as Defense P, may I mark that as People's 49K. What is marked in the video as Defense BB, may I mark this as People's 49L.
Okay.
What is marked in the video as Defense CC, may I mark this as People's 49M. What is marked in the video as Defense KKK, 5 Ks. Is it 4 Ks or 5 Ks? 5 Ks. May I mark this as People's 49, which one am I? N, like Nancy.
M.
N like Nancy.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. That would conclude all the markings for this particular testimony. And we, what would the court like to do? We do have one other one we could start, or whatever the court wants us to do.
So I think we're going to conclude for the day. Right?
Sure.
And we'll pick up next Tuesday. We're going to recess until Tuesday because we have that long weekend, right? And so Tuesday at 10:30, that's still going to work for one of our jurors who has to be a little late. So two or three things here. As you know, Robin's last day with the with the Superior Court is tomorrow, after 49 years. She was great enough to... 42. Did I say 49? I was hoping for 49, because that's going to me, it'll be... Yeah.
Started when she was 5.
40, yeah, I am older no matter what, Robin. Okay, 42 years, not fair that I don't get to retire. But anyway, 42 years is her last day, and last day with the Superior Court after all those years of service, and she was great enough to stay a little bit longer so she could transition us, get our trial started, and she's done a magnificent job here, as she always does. So I'm so grateful to her. We'll talk about that tomorrow more, but I just wanted you to know that you'd be saying goodbye.
Good luck with a standing ovation.
Yes, thank you, Mr. DeGuerin. Yeah, and so her last task will be to collect those from you. So the two other parts are: remember, do not talk about the case or about any of the people or any subject involved in it with anyone, including the other jurors. Do not make up your mind about the verdict or any issue until after you've discussed the case with the other jurors during deliberations. We're in a recess. I'm gonna get back. Where are we gonna get?